Night of the Living podcast is always ad-free for patrons at patreon.com/NOTLP.
I got steam heat.
Psst, is what you did? Sounded like you were pissing.
Psst. Remember that song?
Yeah.
We have Screampunk.
It's our steampunk month.
Screampunk. This one, we're going to be talking about Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter.
Which is really not steampunk, but...
Internet lied to you, Amy.
Yeah, the internet lied to me.
That felt very cheated.
Do you feel...
There was a steam engine.
There was a steam
train.
engine.
But nary a punk to be seen.
Yeah, you're right. Nobody wore... They were wearing tiny little glasses.
They did have the little glasses with the side shades on them, like,
They were top hats, too.
Yeah, top hats. That's steampunk. But also, it's because it's the era it's in.
It's not what I think of with steampunk. When somebody tells me steampunk, I don't think of this movie.
Yeah. I mean, it could, it could, I get why they say that, but also,
We'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to it. I'm Freddy.
Oh, no, you are?
Yeah. I sure am. That's Amy laughing at me.
Hello.
And that's Andy.
I'm laughing with you.
Laughing with me.
With, not at.
Yeah. If this is your first time, just know that we talk about horror, sci-fi, and fantasy films, and we're doing a theme on steampunk stuff. And so far...
Why do you sound mad at it?
I'm not mad.
Okay.
So far, we have covered The Adventures of Baron Munchausen, Delicatessen, and this week, Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter. And then we'll be doing Mortal Engines next week, which was Diane's pick. But if beyond this show, we also have a Patreon where you can listen to Zoned Out, where we revisit the classic Twilight Zone series, episode by episode, every single one of them. Me and Joe Juvland, ad-free there. You also get that on this feed with ads. We have Origins, where we revisit content that we, originally shared back in 2012. Have we moved on to 2013 yet?
Yeah, we're just about to start 2013.
Yeah. So we listen to them and we try to at least address, anything that was like, oh, that was wrong or rude or whatever. If we're rude dudes
with bad attitudes,
we try to address it. And then also Topicana, where we just get loosey-goosey with all kinds of different topics. How'd I do?
I think you did pretty good.
All right.
Patreon.com/NOTLP.
Amy's mom is getting a pedicure with her older sister right now.
Yes, that's what's happening.
That is something the listeners need to know.
Yeah.
Did you need to know that, listener?
I just thought it was cute.
It is adorable because my mom's, sorry, Mom, if you're listening, but you are 67.
Yeah.
And your sister is older than you. It's adorable when two older ladies are out and about and hooting and hollering.
Yeah, I hope they're
whipping
having
it
a
up.
good time.
Me too.
Have you guys ever gotten a pedicure?
Never.
I've had a pedicure.
Is it ticklish? Or
No.
are you ticklish?
I am foot ticklish, but I wouldn't say that I get tickled when they're doing their business. I've only had a handful in my life, so it's not like I have a great depth
Would it be
of
a
knowledge.
footful?
A footful.
Yeah.
My shame won't let me allow it.
Why?
Won't let me allow myself to get a pedicure.
You're ashamed of your feet?
I would scrub my feet till they're like bloody before I go, just so
You
make
wear
sure they're clean.
flip-flops everywhere.
But nobody's touching my feet.
Okay.
Interesting.
Plus, I'd be giggling the whole time too.
Are you tickly?
Not to the extent, but that like you look at my feet and I laugh. But I'm particular to a certain degree.
Okay. I think you'd be fine. I think you'd find it wonderful. It is nice when they massage your calf.
Oh, yeah.
I know they
love that
put.
sort of thing.
Can they put acrylics on toenails? I'll get that.
Put a what on a toenail?
Acrylic nails.
Acrylics,
Oh,
you know,
acrylics.
when somebody has those big claws.
So you could have like real long toenails?
Yeah, I want to like when I walk. I want to hear. I want people to hear it.
Yeah, I'm sure
you want
they
to
would
clack,
do
clack,
it.
clack, like my dog?
clack, yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah,
That'd be real
hilarious.
gross, wouldn't it?
It would be awful.
I'm always kind of impressed with like when they shave somebody's foot down. I've watched pedicure videos because I go through like when Amy and I would watch Dr. Pimple Popper.
Yeah.
As much as that show routinely makes me want to vomit and I never want to watch it anywhere near dinner time, I still fall into those holes where, you go down a gross zit hole on the internet and then you're watching someone's foot get shaved down like a hoof.
Yeah.
Like an animal. Yeah. It's like, oh my God. That is intense.
I want to get one of those pedicures where the little fishies chew on your foot.
That'd be
look
fun. I can do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now that might be tickly.
Yeah. Do you guys want to get leached? You guys want to sign up for some
I
blood?
don't think I need to be.
Some leeching?
Is this the 1600s?
I don't need a bloodletting.
Yeah,
People
think I'm
do it
good.
again now.
Well,
People are into all
people
kinds of
are-
stuff, though.
People are different.
Yeah. I would let little fish eat. Little fish, little fish. What was that song? See the little daisies and make them come up. What are you doing? It was from the 90s. Never mind.
I was alive then. I don't know what you're doing.
It was a hit song. And it was like a little voice. Someone listening knows and they're screaming right now.
Okay. Anyway.
I'll find it.
No, put your phone down. We're not Googling during the show.
I
Are you going to type in Little Fish song?
I think it's Push the Little Daisies.
Okay, it could be.
Push the Little the song is Push the Little Daisies. It's by Ween.
Oh,
But you'd know it if you listen to it.
okay.
It's adorable.
Why don't we just take a break and we'll just listen to it real quick?
That sounds awesome.
Just kidding. We're not going to do that.
Oh, okay.
We got to pay Ween.
Yeah.
Payween.
Payween. It's behind a payween. I'd love to read it, but I'm not. I'm more poor than curious.
I keep coming up against my lack of free articles left on CNN.com. I don't know, because there's a war happening, and I keep checking it, refreshing it to see if any more war is happening.
Yeah.
And then I can't. Then now I'm hit the paywall, so I can't even look at anything. I can just look at headlines.
Yeah.
Same thing with the New York Times.
Did you hit your paywall?
Many times.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you got to wait for it to reset.
Well, I try to reload and scroll up real quick and read a little bit. you don't need
Real quick.
to before they cut you off.
It turns grayed out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. You can if you're fast enough, you can
Yeah.
get through it before the paywall kicks in.
Do you know what you can do? Is if you just hit Control A to select all and Control C to copy it, then you can paste it into a Word document.
That doesn't
And
work, does it?
It works on CNN.com.
Really?
Yeah, I do it all the time
Wow, you're a
to
thief.
get past the paywall.
Ooh.
I know.
You're stealing news.
I'm stealing the news. They're insightful commentary is what I'm
Yeah.
stealing. Anyway,
Yeah, the world's pretty scary right now.
I'm a news thief.
Yeah, I feel like that's not very democratic of the news to
Hide itself.
hide it so much. Like they're trying to keep us stupid.
This is what they're doing.
Now I have to go to Reddit to get my news, and that's not totally reliable either.
No.
It's better than nothing, I
But
guess.
sometimes, like,
unless it radicalizes you.
Some nice people in the comments section copy and paste the whole articles.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's
I like that.
I like when they do that.
Yeah, that is nice.
I feel that's
There's nice
illegal,
people out
right?
there.
I, mean,
I don't know.
It has to be illegal to do
I
that.
don't think it's illegal. It's just not cool.
I guess as long as you cite the source, you could quote an entire article and just repost it. I don't know.
Hey, I think do they want an informed populace or not?
True.
Make your choice, media.
Do you guys want to get informed about Abe Lincoln?
Oh my God.
Learn some history, some culture?
Yes.
Turn out lights, it's the main attraction. This week's main attraction is Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter from 2012. R-rated film. Put the kiddies away. Timur Beck. I always have trouble with this last name, but it's Bekmambetov. Russian.
Okay.
Who's the guy who did Day Watch and Night Watch, those kind of crazy
They were good.
vampire fantasy movies. Yeah. I would say they're not too dissimilar from this movie.
He definitely has a style.
Yeah. This is based on the book by Seth Graham Smith.
He wrote the screenplay too.
Yeah. It's the book is like a journal entries, right? It's like what do they call it?
I never ended up reading it.
But it's there's a lot of differences. I kind of read through the synopsis.
Isn't he the World
of
War Z
both.
guy?
No,
that's
that's
Max Brooks.
Okay. What is Seth? He wrote other things too. Did he like?
Yeah, he's gone on to a pretty decent career.
He wrote the sequel to this.
There was a sequel to this?
Yeah, but he's also one of the
Why?
producers of It, Stephen King's
Okay.
It, and the Lego Batman movie. He wrote that.
Yeah.
And Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
No, is he the one? Like, was he? This is like part of that era, right? Or
That trend.
yeah,
Yeah, they're
Like,
called the mashups.
Where did that kick off at? Was it like Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies or
I
something?
think that was the first one.
Yeah, I think so.
That seems like it was the first one in my brain. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But
Which Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies is a fictional story by Jane Austen originally, right? It's not based on real people. Or is it?
But it's just like the mashup of like different time periods and
Yeah.
like zombies or monsters and
genres.
Draculas and stuff like that.
Yeah, I just find it kind of interesting that that's a work of fiction, though. I mean, obviously the one with zombies is, but the original is not
Yes.
based on any kind of true story.
correct. It's just a
But
fictional story.
this is dealing with Abraham Lincoln, where we have a historical record.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the thing about this movie that
This is a-
drives me crazy.
It's a
is-
tricky movie
Yeah.
because like kind of some of it felt kind of tasteless.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of where I was going. What I was about to say was, it's not just that; it's also a little too neat, where they take all the greatest hits of Abraham Lincoln and try to give them a vampire significance, and that kind of drove me a little over the edge on this, and not kept me from really liking it too much.
it was fine.
Yeah,
But it was jarring in moments when you have this intense vampire shit going on, and then they're like, real quick, pivot over to where he's doing the Gettysburg Address. Show that real quick. Okay, back to the vampire shit. It's just those moments were very jarring. They didn't work well.
yeah, and I don't. They didn't they didn't need to introduce us to Harry Tubman as a
As a C-level
Yeah.
character in your story,
and fight against the dark forces.
yeah,
It was. I was like, huh.
yeah. They're like, is slavery only bad because they're vampires?
Yes,
is that
that's
what
it.
you're saying?
And I felt they tried to do too much with his life.
Yeah.
They didn't need to do the whole story of his life. I felt it should have just been like one little pocket.
When he was younger.
Yeah.
I think that's
And
because
not
of the nature
follow
of
him.
the origin, like the source material. It's like he's a child in the beginning, but it's so different when you make a movie.
And
You-
also,
yeah.
it's called Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. He's not a very good vampire hunter if he started off like as a young man studying to be a lawyer, and then 40 years later, he's president and still hunting zombies.
He's you mean vampires?
Yeah, vampires. Sorry.
I just wanted to prevent
Yeah.
any hate mail that you were going to get over that.
Like he just let these vampires just live in the South for 40 umpteen years.
Prey on slaves.
He got tired of it. Is kind of the play, like because he met Mary Todd and Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Like the cast of this movie. This is what I say when I tell people, the first time I saw this, I was like, it's not terrible. And the reason it's not terrible is they've got some very competent people
It's
in
just very, very silly
it. Yeah.
and stupid.
Oh, it's deeply stupid.
It's the kind of movie, and I was saying this to Amy too when we were watching it. This is now the second time I've seen the movie, and I was like, this is the kind of movie that when you're watching a comedy about filmmaking, it's the movie they're making in the comedy.
Mhm. It's a very like 30 Rock movie.
Yeah.
Who's that ninja?
Yeah. Or the crow what was it on Schitt's Creek? The one she ended up in, the
Yeah.
crow
Oh,
inning or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like something you see on SNL, like a fake movie trailer.
Yeah. But it's very earnest too. And it's a Russian directing a movie about like a beloved American icon.
Right.
I mean, like maybe the most beloved American icon. And it's borderline
Just
like
behind Mr.
sacrilegious, and disrespectful sometimes to the complexity of the person that you're dealing with,
Yeah,
the
and
reality of it.
And the complexity of the issue of like the Civil War and slavery.
Yeah.
Like you can't just reduce it down to
Vampires
Yeah.
are bad, and that's why we have slaves. No,
Yeah.
we had bad people.
and it felt very at times like very white savior movie.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it almost feels
Yeah.
like it wasn't even willing to lean into that.
Yeah.
It was like, no, he just hates vampires. It really has nothing to do.
Well, they do set him up in the very beginning as a young kid
With Will.
as him protecting his friend who's a slave.
Yeah.
That's before he knows vampires exist.
But he's protecting him from a vampire, actually, in that moment,
he
isn't he?
doesn't know that. That's the thing about this movie. Vampires walk around in the sun and they never talk about it.
Yeah. It's
Why
just not
is
that kind of
that your
vampire.
lore?
Yeah, I felt that was kind of like a cheat
Yeah.
to get around certain things.
Yeah, I'm
At
sure
that
the
point, they're not
book
vampires anymore.
goes into it and creates its own lore that the movie just didn't have time to.
Maybe. And, you
Tell
know,
us.
for as much exposition as we get, and so much of it's narrated exposition through Abe's voice, why not address that? Because you have the format. You're already telling us stupid shit in exposition that we don't care about or that is supposed to add flavor to it. But why not just explain why they can go around the daytime? You're doing that anyway, that trick with other shit.
Right.
Like, just tell us. What is it, sunscreen?
I think it might be because there were a couple of
Sunscreen
moments
Yeah.
in the
Well,
movie.
see, that could have just been the movie. Like, there's this threat of vampires, and they can have this. They're about to develop this formula for sunscreen and vampires can walk in the daylight now. The story is just stopping them from getting this sunscreen or whatever. You don't need to have the backdrop of slavery and this.
Yeah.
That's why the Civil War happened.
Well, didn't they that exact storyline you just described, wasn't that one of the Blade movies?
Oh, it was like they.
Or some vampire thing where they had a powerful enough sunscreen that they could go around the daytime. That's a story, that existing IP, but I can't remember what it is.
No, wasn't
Yeah.
it at that werewolf movie we watched? Werewolves with Frank Grillo, where they developed the werewolf sunscreen.
They had moon screen. That was moon
Yeah.
screen. But I think there was one with vampires too. Or it might have even been a Tales from the Crypt comic or something. But yeah, like there's a lot of ways you could go with it. Instead of they shoehorn the Civil War, the Emancipation Proclamation, everything has vampires behind it.
Well, I feel like this movie is not made for American audiences
No.
because they have to have all the greatest hits of, like you said, of Abraham Lincoln. It's something that Americans kind of inherently know already. We don't
Right.
need to have them. Oh, look what he's doing now. And always that.
Isn't it crazy? In the same year, we see Sinners. I revisit this movie, and I'm like, Sinners does a lot of the things this movie tried to do, but it does them so well that they look completely different when it's all said and
Well, the
done.
metaphor in Sinners and of vampires is a lot more clear than this.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more deep.
It doesn't excuse the evils of the human characters. In this, it feels like there are no evil. Like humans are inherently more or less okay. That there's no bad people. That there's just vampires.
Or I get what they're trying to say. Like they're comparing, like, you know, the slave owners to like and the slaves as just basically not human and treating
Right,
them
yeah.
as like cattle, basically, and like dehumanizing the slaves. I get that kind of metaphor, but it's just so the execution of it was kind of icky.
Yeah, because it absolves the real people
Yeah.
involved in a lot of ways. Because
Right.
you'd be like, well, if it was a vampire, I know it's fiction, but it's also like one of those things with speculative fiction. You should still be saying something that's
Yeah,
deeper
'cause
than the reality behind it.
Because you're taking the humanity away from the people that are slave owners and just label them as monsters. Like, no, it's awful because they're humans and they're still
Right.
doing these things.
That's what makes it so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as a vampire hunting movie, fun action.
Yeah, the action was good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
like
enjoyed the axe.
this guy is a
whirling.
great action director,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
the script around him tried to do too much, and
Right.
there wasn't enough action. Because we're watching this director to watch awesome action scenes, but there's so much in between.
You wanted some more.
Yeah.
There's this weird piece of trivia, speaking of the action in this movie. And I thought it was really fucking like, it struck me as I may be being punked by somebody who posted this to IMDb and that it's probably not real. But in case it is real, It says that the entire film is based upon a little-known episode of the cult children's TV show Thomas and Friends. The finale, where the train plummets off a fiery bridge, is shot for shot the same as the season 3 finale of Thomas. That's like Thomas the Tank Engine, I presume.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anybody can verify. I mean, I might go find a side by side out there. I think I'm going to go try to find it.
What side was Thomas on? Was he north or south?
Ooh, fingers crossed north.
Yeah.
I love the idea of someone stealing all their shot compositions from a kid's show.
That it would be odd. Speaking of the vampire lore, I thought it was interesting, this whole concept that only the living can kill the dead. That's about all you get as far as the lore and the mythology in this movie.
It's so bizarre, and I think the reason that is in there, in the book, it wasn't like that. So, like,
okay.
that's a big difference, but I think it might be that way because in both the movie and the book, the vampire hunter trainer character who is
Henry.
Thank you, is teaching Abraham Lincoln how to fight.
Cheesy ass character.
Super cheesy ass character, and he just gives Abraham Lincoln, and that's again, Abraham Lincoln's not really hunting anything. He's given a list of names by this guy all the time. Here, go kill this guy. Go kill that guy. He should have been like called Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hitman or something. Mm-hmm. And that guy, I think the question that people had when they read the book was, why doesn't he just do it himself?
Right.
And so the easiest way to fix that when they make the movie is to make it where he can't do it himself. It's lazy as shit. Super lazy.
Because he's a vampire.
Right.
I mean, it's just as lazy like how the vampires in this can walk in the sun too.
Yeah, without no explanation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although, I mean, if that's what you're building a world where vampires have different rules, whatever.
Yeah, but like you have to explain it.
But vampires are so famously.
Right.
If
We
you-
all know.
If you make these rules, you
Certain
have to
ways.
explain them a little bit.
Yeah. Because they're so counter to what we know about vampires. Or maybe there's a different Eastern European tradition about vampires.
Well,
that I
it
don't
was a
understand.
Russian director. Maybe he
Yeah.
interpreted it.
But Seth Graham-Smith wrote the screenplay. So.
Yeah. But
Anyway.
maybe he never specified if it was like exterior day or night.
Heck of a cast, though.
That was the most fun part of the movie.
Yeah.
Being like
just to see
Alan
it.
Tudyk, Jimmy Simpson,
A McPoyle?
a McPoyle.
And I love when he's supposed to double cross him. It's again one of those moments that you see in a lot of movies where you think the buddy is double crossing him, but he's really
It's a
double crossing the
double
double
cross?
cross. Yeah, but the audience is not
That was-
let in on it.
Very convoluted.
Yeah, it was.
And
I
not very thought out.
That was a real person in real history
yeah,
too.
no, like the
Is
double
the funny
crossing.
thing. Well, but they also kill him off, like
But like
in a huge train accident.
But he was still putting Abraham Lincoln at great risk and
Oh
danger.
yeah. Like
The double cross doesn't work if people are in danger.
Yeah, well, he's trying to divert the vampires from capturing the real shipment of silver that's going to make weapons.
Like how does Abraham Lincoln and Henry, Anthony Mackie, not knowing this plan, how is that?
Right. I don't understand why they didn't know his plan.
Yeah.
Or did they know his plan? I don't know if they ever even really indicate whether they do or not. But we don't. The audience doesn't know. We're not in on it. We think that Jimmy Simpson's character has betrayed Abe's best friend, who you have no reason to believe. There's no foreshadowing of a betrayal.
No, there was, because like at the wedding, there was a moment where it was like Anthony Mackie comes up after and congratulates Mary Todd and Abraham on the wedding. It's like, my family, my best friend, it's just you guys. And then he pans over to to McPoyle, and he's got like this jealous look on his face.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
I forgot about that. You're right. I remember.
No, it
kind of
was like
being
set
why
up
is
like
that?
it's like he's being like a third wheel or something.
Yeah, but it's not supported.
Yeah, it was just there was nothing leading up to that. That I had this idea that the McPoyle and Abraham Lincoln were his best friends, and it was inseparable.
Yeah, he gave him a job. He was his boss.
But it was just so like forced and just like skirted around that he was jealous.
Yeah.
And then like and that's kind of like setting up like the betrayal that we're in, like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, which was not a big oh my gosh moment. And when it pays off, you're just like, okay, they're rocks. It is. Yeah, it didn't have the complexity that you want out of a good action movie either. It was missing a lot of stuff, a lot of little connective pieces.
All that matters is like the awesome action sequences, and they were enough to save this movie. Like the horse thing was really cool.
It's the most horses per minute on screen ever. I read.
Is it really?
It was due to a mistake. They hired this young animator apparently, and he thought he was supposed to make like 1,500 horses, and he made 1.5 million instead.
And I was watching this movie like with these like giant herds of wild horses. Like, where does that happen in America?
In Abraham Lincoln's America.
Like
Back in the day, maybe.
But it seemed like
It was
like great migration numbers in Africa.
Right.
But yeah, that was a mistake. That just looked cool and stayed in.
Yeah, like when the vampire just yeeted that horse and threw him at Abraham Lincoln.
That was pretty cool. That's more, as much as CGI drives me crazy for animals. Excuse me. Sometimes they do clever shit with it.
But speaking of CGI, like I hate it when they do CGI vampire faces.
When they try to make their mouths grow bigger, unnaturally large. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, they were big mouth vampires.
Big mouth vampires.
And big like long, like those anglerfish teeth. You know, I don't like that in vampires. That's just a personal preference.
Yeah, to me, I want fangs. I want you to need to be staked. Nobody was staked.
How do you guys feel about the 30 Days a Night? That's what I was trying to think of. 30 Days a Night vampires.
I didn't care for
I don't
them.
remember those really.
I thought they were kind of scary, but I don't think
They're more monsters than vampires. To me, a vampire could pass as a person.
I like the big blue version of Barlow from the old Sounds a Lot miniseries.
Right.
He gave me the creeps. Being the color blue was really creepy to me too.
Yeah, like I feel like for me, you need to look bat-like, with the little furrowed brow and the little nose turned or something.
I guess Barlow's probably kind of gray, but there's so much blue around him that he looked blue. Anyways, he looked blue to me as a kid.
Okay.
Maybe it was just you need to correct your coloring on your TV.
Wouldn't that be funny if all these years it was just like because I watched it on a shitty TV? Yeah. And they're like, "What are you talking about? Everyone else is not colorblind." Yeah.
So this movie. I thought the burning bridge sequence was really good.
With
the Thomas the Tank Engine burning bridge sequence.
Thomas and Friends.
Sorry. I thought that really came off pretty badass. As somebody who hates trains, I was glad to see that train die.
You hate trains now. That's like a new development since you went on a long train ride.
Since I went on a long train ride.
So now you also hate trains in movies?
Yep. And I like to see them die.
You don't want to read any more books with trains in them?
No more trains.
Yeah, has the romance of train travel, has it killed it? Your trip?
Yeah.
Wow. Damn.
Don't ever meet your heroes.
That's
Trains.
sad.
Trains.
Even like if it was an old-timey train. Trains are your hero.
It's like you went to like a train meet and greet and they were rude to you.
Yeah. Broke my little train heart.
That was Thomas the Tank Engine.
They'd even look up from the
After
thing they were
dark.
signing.
Mm-hmm. The train just went, what's your name?
Had sunglasses on the whole time.
Yeah.
It'd be weird to see that at a convention. Just a big train, like a
Signing.
cartoon train signing shit.
That would be very weird. I would think, oh, wait a minute.
I mean, it'd be
Am I on
normal
LSD?
at a kids convention,
You
probably.
didn't need a big convention center for
Yeah.
that.
Did I take mushrooms?
It would
is
be
what I
weird
would
at
say.
Horror Hound, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. But then
Very weird.
But then that would just because it's so weird.
It's there
then-
for Terror Train.
Yeah, it would be normal again. Because at Horror Hound, everything comes back to being normal again.
I feel the convention will lose a lot of money just housing and feeding the train
The train,
and flying him in.
all the coal.
Trains. No, train doesn't fly. Scared to fly.
Oh yeah.
An old train, scared to fly. That's ironic in and of itself, don't you think?
No.
But I thought it was good casting for young Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
He was really tall.
No, the dude that they picked, I bet you he was cast because of his looks.
Yeah.
But I thought he did a really great job.
Except when they made him to like old Abraham Lincoln with the prosthetics and the Amish beard.
Old makeup is so hard.
Yeah.
Strap beard. Lincoln.
That's why
Do you
they-
notice how
like-
they foreshadowed the
Yeah.
strap beard with his collar when he was hanging upside down when he's young Abe Lincoln?
Oh, when he got that, when he was in that trap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it falls perfectly across his face. So you could be like, oh my God, there's
that's-
going to be Abraham Lincoln with a beard suit.
That's another reason they should have kept it to a small section of his life when he was young. And
Yeah.
Although, here's the other
Because
thing.
him being so virile in what is clearly his later years didn't make sense. Go on.
Well, I was gonna say that's the moments when the movie works as something really funny is when you're watching it and it gets real deep into a serious storyline and they're about to build up to a fight, and then you look and it clicks that you're watching Abraham Lincoln spinning through the air with an axe. Then it's fucking great for a moment.
Yeah.
For a moment.
that's why you need to keep it not, because we don't really, like, we know a lot more about his like later life than when he's younger. That's when you can wrap like this fable around it because it doesn't go against what we know so much.
Yeah, but all throughout, people were just being killed who, in real history, that person didn't die that way,
Are we just having a hard time suspending our disbelief?
Yes, that's what it is. It's Abraham Lincoln.
Is my give a damn busted?
Is it that maybe the three of us are more patriotic than we like to admit and we found this kind of offensive?
No,
I wasn't offended.
it was just kind of eye
On no
rolling.
level.
I was like,
Yeah.
wow, we're really making slavery out to be like lighter
Yeah, it really kind of
as
didn't-
just a C storyline.
It really did not
the movie.
give it its just desserts as the weight of it. It was
Yeah. But I'm not sad I watched the movie.
It's fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
I had fun. It was a little long.
Yeah, we had to pay for it.
I had to
That
rent
wasn't
it.
fun either.
That seems egregious that we had to
Yeah.
pay for
I
this.
think it's
It
the
wasn't
second time I
streaming.
paid to see this movie.
Yeah.
Maybe I think I might have seen it in the theater.
There's no reason why this movie shouldn't just
Yeah.
be streaming on Netflix.
But like I
Perfectly
said,
cromulent.
it was good casting for Abraham Lincoln, but for Harriet Tubman, not so much. Harriet Tubman was not a model.
They got to make everybody beautiful somehow. Mary Todd Lincoln was pretty fine in this too.
You're like, these people only bathe like once a week.
I like that Mary Todd Lincoln gets her moment to be a badass too.
She's a vampire hunter.
They're like, she uses her son's silver sword necklace to shoot the vampire that killed her son. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, it was so neat. Everything in this movie ties up in a bow.
No, when did Mary Todd start having her mental issues?
Probably because of the vampires.
Was that it?
Almost immediately after, I would think. Or the vampires were because of this. All takes place in Mary Todd Lincoln's mind. If the movie had ended that way, I'd have been like A+, done, best picture.
She's got a vampire snow globe.
Yeah,
Looking, she shakes it, and all these bats are
That's
flying
all
around in the water.
exists, the Mary Todd fantasy universe. Oh, that makes it. If you watch this through that scope, this movie is good. But
It's still good. It's not great. That's the thing.
yeah, it's very much right there, smack dab in the middle.
It's just very middle of the road.
It's aggressively bland.
And the
But
color
with some
grading,
fun action sequence.
and the color grading made it look real cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know they were going for like maybe like a daguerreotype type look to it, old timey.
oh no,
But it just seemed very sci-fi quality sometimes.
like you mean Sci-Fi Channel?
Yeah.
Wasn't it kind of just blue?
No, it's kind of like sepia-ish.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean now. I had almost like there was a little bit, of like a smokiness.
Everything was just washed out.
Yeah, I had to look at
Bloopia.
in my
Blue
mind.
and sepia.
It's funny how that didn't even like.
You just created a color, Amy.
Bloopia.
You should write Crayola. Like, can you make a bloopia crayon for me?
Please.
It does suck the life out of the image. Yeah, like just looking at stills. But I didn't even realize that at the time. I was so hung up on the fact again that it was Abraham Lincoln.
You always get these period piece movies and shit, and they always make it look. There's no saturation.
They want it to look like an actual old photograph. Is like you're saying. You think
it's
that's the
like-
idea of the sepia?
There were vibrant colors back then. You're allowed
Just
to
like
show
there are
that.
now. That's why I like Dickinson. It looks like a full color, and they update
The television show?
Yeah, the television show. Dickinson's so good. Great comedy. But also it's probably also full of bullshit historically, but it goes down a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
It's more fun.
Yeah.
You still feel like maybe you learned a little something, if not historically, emotionally every time you watch it.
You're a better person.
Right. If you want something of the era, I'd recommend that over this.
Adorable. Yeah, I don't know that I got much else to say about this film.
Like, okay, why would this be why would the internet say this is categorized as steampunk? Because
I think it's simply time frame that you know, it's set in.
because I think of like
Because then everything
Time
set in
period.
that time frame
Yeah.
would be steampunk, right? It has to be.
Well,
It has to
so
fit to this-
steampunk, there's also some technology involved in steampunk.
Right.
And so his axe was also a shotgun, and it click-clacked
Yeah.
and changed.
That's it. It's probably because of the axe and the weapons and stuff. Those are steampunk.
There was a blunderbuss at one
Yeah.
point that was mentioned, and that feels steampunky.
Oh, it says the definition also includes rebellious spirit.
Yes. Rebelling against
seems like a stretch.
So that's the punk part of it.
vampires and
That your
slavery.
character is a rebellious type. Anywho.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see like, but if it wasn't Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter, and it was some other character they made up, I probably would have more leaned into thinking it was steampunk.
Right.
But again, Abe Lincoln overrides everything. You don't think past Abraham
He had a
Lincoln
pocket
anymore.
watch, and that feels steampunky.
It was
Sure.
There's
silver.
gears in it. He used it to kill the main vampire guy.
Yeah.
Adam, get it? 'Cause
He
he's like
punched
the
it
first.
through him. Did he punch all the way through him?
Because he was holding the watch.
That's all it took was him holding silver to be able to punch a hole.
No. He coalesced around his. He was recoalescing because they can like poof into like
Okay,
smoke,
that's okay. I didn't see,
and the smoke was slowly reconstituting him. And Abe Lincoln jammed his fucking fist in
That's
there
what it
with the
was.
Yeah,
silver.
okay. So
He didn't penetrate his physical form.
Yeah, he didn't have like a one punch man. Just
That's what I thought happened.
going through his like chest.
I don't know why I interpreted it that way.
Because in this world, the vampires can do that, man.
Well, vampires in almost everything. It turned into
Yes,
fog.
yeah.
that's true.
Fog, a cloud, a stinky fart that slithers under your door and up under your sheets.
It didn't come from you. It's like a
It's-
sneaky fart.
It's like a Dutch oven you didn't make.
Wow.
It's an insurgent Dutch oven. It comes into your bed sheets. It's a vampire.
Then it bites you. Those are the worst kind of farts.
Our 3-year-old great niece was over this weekend, and she was in this room that we record in has lots of interesting little toys and weird things in here because we're old children. Anyway, she picks up this little Dracula figurine, and she knows it's a vampire. She's 3. She says vampire.
Her best friend was a vampire on Halloween, little Brody.
Well, don't they
She
have like
remembered that.
I'm not trying to discount your niece's intelligence, but
She's very smart.
there's like that kids show Vampire? There's like a Disney show where there's like a vampire lead character.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I don't know.
adorable.
I
Maybe
think-
she
I
watches
I
that.
think- no, I
that's what I assume maybe.
Her best
and-
friend was a vampire on Halloween.
Yeah,
I
and
think
maybe
that's where
like
she
the
learned it.
Addams Family cartoons and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I don't know that she's seen much of that. I'm almost certain
Or
it's just from Brody.
Hotel Transylvania.
Maybe she might have seen that. I think they're pretty restrictive. Except for, never mind. We're getting into family stuff. I was just be like, what is my niece watching?
No, I feel like kids
Miss Rachel.
have a lot more sophistication and exposure to certain things than we did.
Yeah,
Like vampires.
vampires. I knew what a vampire was when I was real little.
3 though.
I don't know about 3. Maybe.
I don't know if she knows what a vampire is. She knows what a vampire looks like.
Wouldn't you think it would be like Count Chocula or the Count from Sesame Street?
And it, like Halloween, there's so much
Yeah.
vampire iconography, and
Yeah.
they're like cute now.
It wasn't her first run-in with a
adorable.
vampire, but it was specifically the Bela Lugosi style vampire.
Yeah.
And that's what her little best friend was dressed up as, and it was fucking adorable.
Yeah.
If you want to see cute, just then put those two together.
Vampirina.
Vampirina.
That's the Disney show?
Yeah.
Oh.
I wonder if she's seen that.
I don't know.
Does it have a
Seems like
Bela Lugosi type of character on it?
Seems like a lazy name too.
Do you think Andy knows?
Vampirina.
He knew that it existed.
But do you think he watches?
No, but I'm saying it's Bela Lugosi.
Do you think your friend who's deep into his 40s is watching it?
Why did he know what it is then?
Because he
Can we
knows
ask?
about
He's
Disney
right here.
things.
We can ask him. He's right here. Andy?
I want to talk around him.
Why did you know what's her name? Vampirina?
Just scrolling through things like at Disney Plus or something, like it pops up.
Did you watch the whole series?
Yes, I'm a huge fan.
It's okay if you are. You can tell us.
Why would I lie about that?
Shame.
It's safe space, you know.
No, but
Any
you see the
secrets?
stuff I wear.
I do like a good kid show.
All right. Anything else about Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter?
Not at all. Not from me.
All right, cool.
Not from me and not for me. It was okay. But not from me, nothing more.
Okay. Good to know. Would you like to talk about what's been going on with your algorithm?
You know, we reconfigured our algorithm by watching Friday the 13th on Friday the 13th.
What we ended up watching was 1, 2, 3, and X.
But not in that order.
But not in that order.
We watched 1, Jason X, 2, then 3.
Did it confuse you?
Yeah,
No.
I can't follow it at all. But
How long is it? You've seen Jason X, right?
Yeah.
Since when it came out, probably.
Yeah.
What a dumb fucking movie. What a movie that doesn't even bother explaining itself. It just swaggers in,
Yeah.
does its dumb shit, entertains the fuck out of you while it's doing it, and then leaves, and you're like, that was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But I loved it.
We talked about, and I think Jason and I talked about this, not Voorhees, Cretin.
Well, Jason can't talk anyway.
That we would like a Jason X sequel that's just Jason X 2 on Earth 2, because they're on they land on Earth 2 and he ends up in the lake. Because then you could do a whole Back to the Future Part 2 kind of futuristic thing where you have like everything's kind of 80s, but it's also futuristic. That'd be fun. I would enjoy the hell out of that. And just have Jason X come up out of the lake. He's like a twice baked potato at this point, anyway, because he gets all regenerated with nanotechnology and everything. It was fun though to revisit those.
Well, you have to. It's Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
We don't do it every Friday the 13th.
But
a lot,
most.
A lot of times we at least get one in.
Yeah. What else you been watching?
Oh my God. I saw a movie I thought I had seen before and I didn't. So we all love Wang Chung.
Who doesn't?
And for years I thought To Live and Die in LA, the movie, the William Friedkin movie, I thought was DOA, the remake of an old film noir that has Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan, I think, in it. I thought that movie was this movie, but I finally saw To Live and Die in LA for the first time. The movie's fucking great. Huge recommend. It's on Prime. Have you seen it?
I don't even know what it's about.
It's a crime movie, and it's about
William Friedkin, the Exorcist guy?
Yeah, he directed this and Cruising. This is like so this actually would pair really well like Cruising or he did the French Connection. It's kind of like it's like those movies. But it's William Peterson. He was a Secret Service agent investigating a counterfeit ring that is run by Willem Dafoe. And it's got a great cast, and it's got some real shocking moments in it. And the way the story is told, like it could have been made just this year. It's so good. And it's
Except for its
80s.
soundtrack.
It's all Wang Chung. Every bit of music in it is Wang Chung. So you see like strippers dancing to dance all days.
The song, yeah, that's ridiculous.
It was fun.
The song To Live and Die in LA fucking slaps.
I think the whole soundtrack's pretty great. Like it's cool. It's kind of like Miami Vice. It feels a lot like Miami Vice too. Only way more violent.
Right. All right.
But yeah, check that out. You won't be disappointed.
Sounds like I wouldn't be. I was in the room, but I didn't watch it.
I'll watch it again.
But I knows what happened.
Oh yeah, and I watched the HBO Max documentary series Toxic that Armie Hammer's ex-wife is making about people in toxic relationships. And it ends up with a 2-parter thing because she talks about the bad vegan people from that documentary. It has a whole new take on that. Oops, sorry. I haven't seen the bad vegan documentary, but it's supposed to be good, but it's also like she says heavily flawed and full of missions.
Does she talk about her relationship with Army Hammer?
Not in detail. But
No.
it's so funny because you watch it and it's kind of like it gives you that if you don't know who she is, and I didn't know who she was, like there's enough in the opening credit. You're like, oh, that's this person.
Yeah.
That's why she knows about a tough relationship because she was with Army Hammer. You're like, it falls into place.
Like, I don't even really know that much about why he was canceled.
He wanted to cannibalize people?
Yeah.
His sexual fantasy was to eat a person.
But there was also, I think, some allegations of some grooming and some sexual assault stuff.
Because all I know is about the
But
cannibal stuff.
But there was, the cannibal.
If you're grooming a person as a meal, isn't that more like marinating?
It's like raising them as food.
Raising
you know?
it, yeah, farm,
God.
farm to table. Yeah, that's all that I have done with my life.
But our cannibalistic thoughts, like you said, he did other stuff probably, but just our thoughts enough to are bad enough to cancel somebody.
You can't be canceled for anything you think, Andy.
I mean, I don't.
I'm sure there's more to
To
the
me,
story.
that's just if it was simply that he has cannibalistic, he like fetishizes talking about it or whatever. That's one thing. That's like whatever. It's a kink I'm not into, and it seems kind of dangerous. But you do you, as long as everybody's consenting. But I think it went beyond that.
Okay.
But I don't really have.
He didn't eat anybody, if that's what you're wondering.
I
Not that we
believe
know
he
of.
was justly canceled, but I couldn't tell you the whole story.
Okay. I'm just lazy because I'm sure I could look it up. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just going on.
all I know
vibes.
is cannibals.
it's all too much for me, honestly.
Um,
I cannot even begin to understand what the hell's going on with that guy.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
So I can't think of anything that I stayed awake for this last week. But I have been reading. So you guys know that I've talked about how I have shame around my love of romance novels because I think I should be better than that, but I'm not. And I do love them. And I recently I've started a new romantasy series. Have you heard this term, romantasy?
I think it's self-evident.
Yes.
Are there like dragons and stuff in it?
Yeah. It's like fantasy plus romance. So the characters, fully bang.
Do the dragons also have sex lives?
So I'm reading the Fourth Wing series, the Fourth Wing, and then I've read the second story, Iron Flame. And they're pretty good. Not great or anything, but there's dragons and shit,
Yeah.
and that's fun. And then people banging it out, that's fun too.
You read Clan of the Cave Bear?
No.
It's kind of like a crazy, massive, epic story, but
Yeah,
also
I know.
Is that
a
like
little
sexy
bit.
scenes.
that's not a romance novel, is it?
No, it just has sexy sex scenes in it. I just remember I read it when I was a
Titillated when you
teenager,
were a young
12,
boy.
13.
Yeah.
Is there shame involved around reading these novels? Because
I don't know. I just have this
is that or
weird,
that's just your your
it's
own
my own
internal stuff?
personal hang up shit where I think I should be a better feminist. But to be honest with you, what's wrong with it?
But isn't feminism about
Liking what you like,
Yeah.
doing what you want to do,
Yeah.
not letting
Without
being
judgment.
a woman hold you back from anything.
Do you remember when we had the book rack?
But I don't
over
think
here?
people would take me as serious if they
Yeah.
knew.
No,
you know
I
what mean?
feel like it's a very common thing, though.
Yeah.
That I think a lot of people read that stuff, and
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was just about to say. But when we had the book rack over here, there was a used bookstore, and they had caps on romance novels. Like they had so many romance novels. Like the most of the store was romance novels, and and most of their business was mostly like a lot of middle-aged women coming in there and trading out what they were reading for something new, and it was just astounding the level of like it might another. It's not just women. My dad's biological father apparently loved romance novels. They found tons of them in his attic after he died.
I wonder what you would think of one.
Just a pure romance, just a straight up romance novel.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like romance movies.
Yeah.
It's probably different.
Maybe I'll force you to read one.
You can send me something.
I'm not sure what.
I'm always looking to broaden my horizons.
just reach out, just go down the aisle and just
Go to the library and
just pick something up, eyes closed.
Like
Bam.
Lady Chatterley's Lover.
there you go.
That's just
I've never read that.
old.
Read one with the Fabio on the cover.
Oh yeah, Fabio was on a lot of them, wasn't he?
A Fabio.
That's why he's famous,
Yeah.
basically.
I remember, was it Harlequin? I think it's the big
Oh, yeah.
imprint. That was the thing. You could see all the spines of them. It's just stacked up from floor to ceiling, just Harlequin books.
Yeah.
And they were all about the same length. They look like 200 pages.
Oh yeah, you're in and you're out.
Yeah.
That's about all you need.
I mean,
On to the next.
They're not that different from Choose Your Own
They're
Adventures
easy to read.
in their size and
They
colors
go fast. Yeah.
on the
They're
covers.
exactly the same.
Yeah.
But you read what you want, Amy.
I will. Thank you very much. And I.
No, I
did.
get it. Like, people, it's kind of like these ladies getting hot and bothered about these books.
That's the point.
But like, it's kind of like people kind of like make fun of it. But like,
Yeah.
men have their like Tom Clancy novels.
Yeah.
You
Getting all-
get all hot and bothered.
Not
over
getting
the
all
Tom
but like
hard
that's, you know,
reading your Clancy
but
novel.
that's
That's that hero fantasy.
or like Reacher novels or something.
Right, yeah.
It's like men have their stuff, women have their
Yeah.
stuff. Let people have their stuff.
Let people have their stuff.
Just be happy with your stuff.
Or be like me and just not read at all.
Well, I don't know. I can't live that life, but
I try to read.
You read New York Times articles so much that you can't even get.
I can't tell you how many books I've read half of.
Yeah.
A lot of them. Still haven't touched it yet again.
But all the major
You
like,
still haven't gone back to
online-
it?
they've all cut you off. All the major print and online publications. You're at the paywall, so you're clearly reading something.
he's at the payween.
I get half of the story.
Yeah. You're getting a lot of halves of stories. You read the first half of it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's so many books I have that I just read half of.
The second halves are really good.
You
on
ought
most of them.
to. You ought to try it out one time.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it.
Just dive in. Just got to do it. Once you get over like that stall.
Lend
in
me
the
one of
middle.
your novels, Amy. Then
Well, it's all e-reader
Oh, it's
stuff.
e-reader, okay.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Libby, Kindle Unlimited, and Hoopla.
There's somewhere in this house maybe a NASCAR romance novel that was given to us. As
That was a
gag
white
gift.
elephant.
Yeah.
Effalant. Anyway, the Fourth Wing Iron Flame. Good. I'm gonna read the third one. So if I'm gonna keep going, that means there's something good there.
gotta read the fourth one too.
And the fourth one. I don't know if there's.
It's in the title.
Oh, Fourth Wing. I get it. Dragons. All right. That's all I have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Andy?
I watched that new. I went to see that new Mike Flanagan Stephen King movie.
Oh, Life of Chuck.
Yeah, I read the story. Do you
Yeah.
like the movie?
Like I assume it's pretty faithful to the novel. Is it translatable?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it was pretty straightforward.
Yeah, feel good. I really I love that story.
Is in the novel, do they break it up in like 3 acts?
Yeah, I think so. It's like it's not even a novel. I don't think. If I remember right, it was like either a short story or a
Okay.
novella. So it's real brief, but it's like moments of this man's
Yeah.
life, kind of like in eras. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't read it since it came out, so it's been a while.
Yeah, it's really good in that it's like life affirming and it's beautiful, but in that heartbreakingly devastating like Mike Flanagan way.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Stephen King's good at that too.
Yeah.
That's a good match.
That's why they're like, I feel like Mike Flanagan is probably the best person to do Stephen King stuff
Yeah,
because they kind of get each other.
Right.
I laughed and cried a lot.
Aw.
But then, like, don't take me my word for it because I cry very easily at movies.
You are a baller.
But it's a very, very sweet movie.
yeah.
What's it about?
Well, that's hard to say.
It's hard to describe without kind of spoiling it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's just like moments of this guy's life and
All right.
tells about his story and, people in his life and how he became to be the person he is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's people could, if you're a cynic,
Yeah.
then you would like roll your eyes at this movie.
Yeah. It's
Seems
kind of
like-
sweet.
Yeah,
I've seen reviews that kind of describe it as kind of too much.
No, it's kind of like Chicken Soup for the Soul if it was a movie, maybe,
Right.
or like those motivational posters
I've
on a
seen
wall.
mixed reviews, but I see what you're
But
saying.
it seems like it's just so old fashioned, something you see in the '90s.
Yeah.
You know, but if you're not like, you have to just be open to it. I can see why people would like have criticism about it, because at times it can be pretty sappy, but and sentimental, almost schmaltzy.
Yeah.
But like if you're into it, it's worth it.
It's definitely the softest Stephen King
Yeah.
story that you'll read, with the most like just
Yeah.
sweet, gooey center,
Yeah.
but still it's Stephen King.
Well,
Right.
I it's like kind of like the acts is like broken up in 3 acts, and the first act is almost like a Twilight Zone story,
Yeah.
and then you realize what's really going on, and you just see moments from this guy's life, and I just love the message behind it, how your life matters, but also how other people's lives matter too, because they're part of your story. You never know how you can affect somebody.
How you intersect with other
Yeah.
people. Interesting. Okay.
You could compare it to Forrest Gump in that way.
In a way, yeah.
Is it Gumpian?
I like that new word. That should be. Is that a new word? Gumpian?
I just made it
Yeah.
up, I think.
The ripple effect, kind of, you know.
It's
that
probably
characters
exists in the zeitgeist.
have. Gumpian,
But Gumpian.
probably.
But I don't know that. So I'm taking credit for it right now.
Like I said, it made me cry, but in sad ways, but also it was in very happy ways. Like you see,
It broke you down and built you back up.
it's like it seems so joyful
Right.
that it like brings out this emotion in you.
Yeah, like I just saw the new trailer for The Naked Gun that's coming out with Leslie Nielsen, and
Leslie Nielsen.
I meant to say
Liam
Liam
Neeson.
Neeson. I never noticed how much they're
Yeah.
phonetically
Oh,
their names are similar. And it really does look funny. It really does. I'm so happy now because I saw the teaser for it and you couldn't tell if it was gonna be funny or not. It was just kind of like, oh boy.
Yeah, I feel like we're definitely going to be there on opening weekend.
Oh, I'll be there the first day. I guarantee it. It looks so goddamn funny. That's the kind of joy.
When does it come out?
I don't know.
Oh.
Oh, I forgot to say, the first act is pretty like very heavy, and I almost like walked out of it because it was just so much. Because there's a lot of parallels with going on in the world right now. I was like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't take this right now.
Yeah.
And also Matthew Lillard shows up, and he plays a very sad character, and he cries. And I was like, oh my God, you made Matthew Lillard cry. And it upset me
Yeah.
because we have this idea of Matthew Lillard as this very
Lovable,
lovable,
goofball.
happy-go-lucky
Yeah.
guy, but he plays this, and he's crying on screen telling this sad story. I'm like, oh, he's like kicking a puppy.
Have you seen The Bridge? He's really, really good on that. That's the best thing he's done, I think. I used to check it. If you're a fan of just him, like he plays a reporter.
TV show.
Yeah.
The American version of a show made elsewhere. It's there.
You.
All
But
right.
yeah, Life of Chuck, I highly recommend it.
Good to know.
I highly recommend the Naked Gun trailer.
I highly recommend that I read this list of Beelzebubs.
That's a good idea.
At the end of every show, we always say hi to our Beelzebubs. Patreon.com/NOTLP. I'm going to read this list of people's names, starting with Matt, Branan and Emily, Dr. Brian, Old Dirty Billster, Bill Fahrner, Blayne Yogurt, Jordash Jeans, Monica, Ernest, Dave, Paul, and Shayna Bobena.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you so much for being you and listening and all that jazz. Bye.
Frankenstein was wondering if he should go to bed when his old buddy Leatherface put on Dawn of the Dead. And Igor made the nachos in a severed human head, and they enjoy the movie with their friends. 'Cause streets of London.